The riders reaching down, locking in their front wheel locks, and they're getting ready to go racing once again here in the GNC2 last chance qualifier. 5 laps remaining. We have 3 laps in the books. On the point is Dalton Gauthier, just moved up to the GNC2 class. Let's see if he can hang on for his first win in this class. I know it's a last chance qualifier, but any win has to feel good down here in Daytona. Here we go with the restart. And the 31G of Bell goes absolutely nowhere, so that might be the end of his night as the rest of the pack continues on.
Gauthier with a good start. It reestablishes the gap pretty quickly. The battle is on for final transfer positions as looks like Garth Brow might have slipped up a little wide in the middle of turns 3 and 4.
Gauthier starting to pull away on the 14A bike. Now he's got a nice lead going into turn number 3. The 27U Jameson Miners taking over the 2 spot. Lowry will be back to the 3rd spot. Now he's back in 4th, actually. Another rider comes on through that possibly is Brandon Wilhelm. Wilhelm does move up to the 3rd spot. He won here last year's first ever win, and it's a cool privateer story. Unloads out of a van. Doesn't come in a big rig, comes out of a van, comes down here and wins Daytona Flat Track. Right now, he's in the 3rd spot trying to hang on top 4 to the main event. Jeffrey Lowry right there in the 4th spot, but he's got his hands full as there are 2 laps to go here in the GNC2 last chance qualifier. Is anything going to happen to Gauthier? Smooth sailing right now, Chris.
It's all up to him. It looks like this is one of the smoothest young riders I've seen in several years. I've seen him on a lot of different tracks, a lot of different surfaces. He seems to have adapted very well to the Daytona Flat Track. Looks very, very comfortable. Miner running some good laps, matching his pace, but it's a little too late.
Checkered flag will come out right there. Dalton Gauthier in his first GNC2 race will take home the win in it is the last chance qualifier for the GNC2 class. We'll give you a rundown just as soon as the bikes go by. Dalton Gauthier picks up the win on the Yamaha. Jameson Miner, Brandon Wilhelm, and Jeffrey Lowry will all transfer on Hondas into tonight's GNC2 main event. So the field has been set for GNC2. Tony Meyering didn't get the good start we were hoping for. Derek Hirsch, Colby Carlisle 7th, Jesse Long, Mitch Harvitt, Dan McRoberts, Tyler Butts, Mac McGrew 12th, Gonzo Garthbrow 13th, Ryan Wells scored 14th, Nick McFadden didn't have the debut he wanted to here in Flat Track, Miles Thornton, Dylan Bell, and Chris Kabari did not make the restart, so that is how they finish up in our GNC2 last chance qualifier. Let's go down to our victory podium with Danny.
Dalton Gauthier taking the LCQ transfer spot and the win. What's going to happen going into the final?
Just get a good start and put 16 solid laps down and charge to the front.
Let's talk a little bit about track conditions. What has changed from earlier to right now?
I feel that there's more traction. It's my bike's working good. Goodwin Racing, Scott Powersports, my dad. He got the bike working good.
So we'll see you in the main.
All right. Dalton Gauthier picking up the win in his first ever GNC2 race, and he has put himself into the main event. Up next is one of my favorite races, Chris. I know it's got to be one of yours, too. It's a 4-lap dash for cash. What are you thinking as your thoughts going into the dash?
Well, we see Stevie Bonzi in the 3rd heat race, fastest heat race, sitting on pole. We see a little bit of water being put out there on the racetrack. That could change things up. Depends on how quickly we get back to green after the spritz of water on the racetrack. That always changes things up. This place is very sensitive to atmospheric change, and it's certainly sensitive to the water truck. The little amount that they put on earlier didn't seem to have a long-lasting effect. But if they get going here pretty quick, it'll certainly make for a different 4-lap dash.
So a light mist coming out of that truck going onto the racetrack. The riders that have qualified for the Dash for Cash, Stevie Bonzi, he is number 80. He's on the point from Salinas, California. Sponsored by Dodge Brothers Racing. He's got some help from Suzuki. He's the only Suzuki in this Dash for Cash on the Suzuki RMZ 450. Also sponsored by Alpine Stars, Motion Pro, Arai Helmets. Starting 2nd on the front row, all these riders will be on the front row. From Clio, Michigan is our defending Grand National Champion, doing it from Montgomeryville Cycle Center, Rogers Racing, and SDI. That is the Jammer, Jared Meese, number 1. Starting third on the front row from Mount Gilead, Ohio. Next year, he will have a national number, Chris. I just now thought about that. Jared Vanderkoy in his first ever GNC1 start, already qualified for his first ever Dash for Cash. He is sponsored by Don's Kawasaki, DPC Racing, and Woody Kyle. He'll have the third pick on the front row. Fourth will be number 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. He's from Center Hill, Florida, on the Zanatti Racing Gator, Harley-Davidson Chaplin Honda. And then starting fifth from Salinas, California, is the number 14, Briar Bauman. He's on the Hart Racing, Rod Lake Racing, Specialty Fabrications Incorporated, Honda CRF 450. And the last rider out there in our Dash for Cash coming up next is Anna Yamaha, and he is sponsored by R&R Racing, Country Saloon, PMC, and Waters Auto Body. And that is national number 27, the leader of the FBI, the Fast Boys from Illinois, Robbie Bugs Pearson, listed here as Mossville, Illinois. You going to make any predictions right now? Or are you going to wait and see how it unfolds?
Well, it's very interesting. Jared Mees in 2012 on a track very similar to what we have right now led 24 laps of the main event. I'm not quite sure what he did in the dash that night, but I recall him leading 24 and a half laps of the main event. This is his kind of racetrack, and I think he's off to a good start at defending his number 1 plate, and he got a good start in his heat race, as did Bonzi and Vanderkoy. Ironically, the guys that whole shot each of the GNC1 heat races went on to win uncontested events. So I think the start's pretty important in this class.
Also like to say hi and welcome to on Fans Choice is a good friend of yours and former racer Wayne Rainey. He's watching on fanschoice.tv, so it's good to have him on board. Wish him all the success this year in his new venture.
Wayne, a former dirt tracker, now the marquee head of the new Moto America Road Race Series. Great to hear that he's out there watching the dirt track, and thanks for reaching out to us, Wayne. Glad to hear you're enjoying your roots.
Absolutely, getting some dirt track in here tonight at the Daytona Flat Track. Also, if you make your way into the pit area after the races, stop by and see a couple different riders. I think Jake Johnson, Chad Coast, and you can see the 8 Injured Riders has a brand new trading card set for flat trackers. I believe they have about 80 cards. Every rider has a national number. There's some rookie cards in there. They did this back in 1991. It was a huge hit. I don't know why they went away. I still have my cards from back then, and it's a cool thing. All the proceeds that they raise will help injured riders that get hurt in flat track racing, which is a cool deal. 8 Injured Riders, a huge benefit to a lot of our riders.
Very, very neat organization. It was started by a handful of riders in the late 90s, myself included, along with guys like Scott Parker. We were kind of brought in on the board of directors, and somebody really smart along the way turned this whole thing over to the wives and the girlfriends, because they were the ones that could get it done. And those ladies are doing a great job raising funds for not only their favorite rider, but the other riders in the paddock. It's great to see the ladies they seem to be able to pull a little bit of that money out better than the riders did. We were more worried about racing. They're worried about keeping us healthy.
Absolutely. Also, a shout out goes to the class of 79, the AMA Pro Flat Track rookie class of 1979 and friends, and Saddleman Seats alongside of those proudly presents the 4th annual Charity Golf Classic, which is Friday, May 22nd there in Springfield, Illinois. As the next race after this weekend, we will make our way to the Springfield Mile, which is May 24th. So go to Bunn Park Golf Course Friday, May 22nd, 11 a.m. Sign up, noon start, $100 per player. Some of the riders and popular people here scheduled to appear: Bubba Schobert, Tommy Duma, Ronnie Jones, Chris Carr, Charlie Roberts, Jackie Mitchell, just some of the celebrities, some of the former racers and some current racers that will be headed out there to check it out. And that is the 4th annual Charity Golf Classic in Springfield, Illinois, all part of the Springfield Mile weekend. There's a lot of amateur races going on over in the multi-purpose arena as well. So it's pretty cool that there's a lot of people behind our injured riders. I know Class 79 and Friends gave out a lot of money just recently to help out Jethro Halbert, who's still recovering from an injury out there at the Calistoga Half Mile. And our thoughts are still with him each and every day. Hopefully he continues to get better. And Class 79 just raised a lot of money for him. So lots of cool things going on in our sport.
Yeah, it's great to see the class of 79, a lot of ex-racers, guys who looking for a way to get involved in the sport as we see the Dash for Cash rolling out on the track.
All right, it's time for the fastest 4 laps, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Dash for Cash. $1,000 to win, 1 point to the to the winner also. And also what's very important is how you finish in this Dash for Cash will be your starting pick in tonight's GNC1 main event. So like I said, here we go with the starting lineup again. 80, Stevie Bonzi. He is on the inside. Beside him is Jared Meese, our defending champion. 17F, Jared Vanderkoy. The 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. The 14, Briar Bauman. And the last rider on the outside is the 27, Robbie Bugs Pearson. 4 laps to get it done.
Riders set, bikes in gear.
Watch the light.
Oh, as we see Bonzi and Meese tangle up right off the start. Bonzi goes down, barely makes it past the starting light.
Are they going to let him go? The red light, I see it flashing in the background.
Red light flashing out. It's always unfortunate. You know, be sitting on the pole, you know, a fresh little bit of water on the racetrack, might have been a little greasy. Sometimes these bikes jump sideways on you, and looked like Stevie collected an elbow or a handlebar from Jared Meese as Jared was lined up to his right. He'll have to start from the second row as we get this one going.
Actually, he gets the bike refired up. He'll take a look down, make sure the bike is okay. He will have a chance to go to the hot box if he asks to. If there's something wrong with the motorcycle, he could also reach out and go to a backup motorcycle right now.
I don't think that's an option for Bonzi. I think he brought one motorcycle in his truck. He's going to have to make do with it.
Now he's back on the penalty line though, so we'll see what can happen as he'll line up.
The water that they put down on the track, I just caught a little glimpse of Bonzi going into turn 1, and the track appears to be a little slippery. The other riders also got to lap a little bit more at speed, so it'd be pretty interesting to see if they learn anything from what was essentially a sighting lap.
Here we go. 4 laps to get it done. They're getting ready to take off. The light is green, and they are off. Into turn number 1. Vanderkoy is at the point now. A new rider comes up the bottom. It's the king of cool, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Coolbeth takes him down the back straight away. Here comes the hungry number 1, Jared Meese on the outside. Briar Bauman says, I'm not following any of you guys. He's looking for the long way around, and he goes straight backwards.
Yeah, the cushion didn't work for Briar Bauman on that lap as Bonzi moves up. Pretty hard, aggressive move, skates across the groove, gets into third. Pearson trying to square him up. Pearson moves up to third, takes the spot back.
Coolbeth out front on the 2. Jared Meese on the number 1 bike. Behind him is the rookie. That's Jared Vanderkoy. No, now it is Bugs Pearson in third. Vanderkoy back to 4th. Bauman in 5th. As they go through turns 1 and 2, here they come back at us. It's Coolbeth. Looks like Meese got a little bit wide. Here comes Robbie Pearson. He's the man on the move tonight, Chris.
Yeah, and Meese just got knocked sideways by Vanderkoy.
And they all went by.
Something that seemed to happen with Mee's motorcycle there.
Coolbeth just about lost the front end right there going into the corner, so the track's definitely different, possibly a few slick spots. Coolbeth still in front. Look how hard Robbie Bugs Pearson is riding. Checkered flag is going to come out. 4 laps, doesn't take long. Here comes Kenny Coolbeth Jr., who won the last main event here last year, and he takes the victory. Tough break for Meese, finishing back there at the back of the pack. Here's your finishing orders. Bauman goes up to say hi to the king of cool, Kenny Coolbeth. Coolbeth, your winner on the 2 bike. Robbie Pearson, the man that seems to be charging the hardest right now, is the 27 of Robbie Pearson. The gentleman, Jared Vanderkoy, the rookie, finishes in the 3rd spot. 4th will go to the 14, Briar Bauman. 5th, Stevie Bonzi, and a tough break for the number 1, the jammer, Jared Meese. He will finish in the 6th spot. That means he will get the 6th pick on the line in tonight's GNC1 main event.
Very interesting. Kenny Coolbeth is now our new point leader.
He's got
for the
one.
2015. He's got a 1-point lead on 45 guys and gals.
That's right. So let's go trackside. Danny Medine is caught up with Kenny Coolbeth Jr.
Kenny, take us through that race. Is this almost more important than the main event? You guys were bar to bar throwing elbows out there.
Well, every point counts. You know, it's a start, but we got a long season, and I feel good. We just need starts all night like that and stay out of trouble.
Now, a new rule for this season is the bonus point that you get for winning the Dash for Cash. How do you think that will play out in the finals towards the end and towards the championship hunt?
Like I said, every point counts, and you know, we're gonna try our best to be up here every race, and you know, if so, good. If not, then we'll just build off that.
Now, AMA Pro Racing has a $1,000 check for you. How is this going to help your program?
Any money's great. You know, it's it takes a lot of money to travel down the road, so it's a huge deal.
All right, we'll look for you in the main event. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right,
that was
Kenny
Coolbeth
picking up the check. Chris Carr's ready to talk. He's up here in the booth with me. GNC Semi number 1 coming up. Out of the GNC Semis, the top 3 will make it directly to the main. On the pole, ladies and gentlemen, is the number 6, a former Grand National champion. That's the Bullet, Brad Baker. 23, Jeffrey Carver Jr. 55 is Jake Shoemaker. The 12 of Jay Maloney. 42, Brian Smith. 77, Kyle Johnson. That is your front row. Row number 2, the 98, Kel Kochman. 91, Mikey Martin. 96, Cody Johncock. 17, Henry Wiles. 29, Jake Mattia. 41, Brad Hazel. Let's go back to row number 3. Jake Constantine on the 13. 51C, Sean Raggio. 25, Kevin Anderson. 83S is Mike Poe. And the 18X is Brett Pankey. Once again, only the top 3 riders, Chris, will go directly to the main event. Everybody else is done for the night.
Top 3 riders to the final. This is very important 8 laps for the number 42 of Brian Smith, our championship contender last year, struggling again here at Daytona to find his way in the final. We got some real good short trackers to his left. Brad Baker, always a contender. The 12 of Maloney, wanting to make another main event here at Daytona. Shoemaker, and Jeffrey Carver's had some good results here in the past, so it'd be very, very interesting. Brian Smith's got his hands full. He's in damage control mode right now for the series.
He certainly does. They all want to finish in those top 3 spots because that will be it for the night. Keep your eyes on the single digit, which is Brad Baker. Also, don't count out the 17 of Henry Wiles. He's back there on the 2nd row after his fall down earlier in the heat race, so he's got his work cut out for him. He's been struggling most of the day. Let's see if he can get up there to the front. You can see Brad Baker's eyes focused on the light. Here we go. GNC 1, Semi number 1. Lap number 1 completed for our leaders. It is the Bullet, Brad Baker out front on the 6, Jeffrey Carver right behind him. A couple of riders are side-by-side riders down a little bit deeper in the field. A couple of riders going down back in the pack. We're going to still keep on racing until we see a red flag. It is still Baker out front. Lead him off of 4. Baker at the point. Some of the other riders have slowed down now as the red definitely came out. We did see some riders go down, and there's one rider. That is the 41. That is Brad Hazel. Appeared that he went down kind of by himself. Might have had a little bit of help.
It's hard to say. Cameron didn't quite pick that one up, but tough break for Baker. He did exactly what he needed to do. Get a good start, set sail, run a comfortable pace. As did Brian Smith. 42 found himself a good start, running 3rd. Exactly what he needed to do to put himself in the final and score some valuable championship points.
So the rider that is down is the national number 41, Brad Hazel, Albion, New York. On the Haas Racing, Pete Allen, RLJ Engines, Honda. He's going to walk into the infield. He grabs his goggles from Steve Moorhead. We'll try to see if he can fire up his motorcycle. If he can, he will start the tail end of the field. I believe it's going to be a complete restart, Chris. Only 1 lap was in the books, and the scores have been completely wiped away. So we will have a complete restart here in GNC1, Semi number 1, which is now the Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance Hines.
Very interesting. Those that didn't get a good start that they were looking for actually get a do-over here. Brad Hazel, I think, would rather that thing continue green with him upright. But second chance for those who didn't get it done the way they needed to.
Going to do some fine-tuning on the front wheel on that back straightaway wall.
That's the easiest way to straighten out a front end is banging on a concrete wall. And
the backup bike is out there and ready to go. We'll see what he's going to do. Yep.
He does have that option.
He only has just a few moments as the track has been deemed. When it is ready to go, they're going to send him out. It's a good break right here, Chris. I want to point out Kyle Johnson had a really good start, but he's way on the outside, and he got shoved even further outside. He did have a good start, got pushed way outside as this is his first go at the GNC1 class. So Hazel pulls the 41 machine back up to the tail end of the field. He's got his goggles back on. I'm not sure if he switched motorcycles or if he's on that primary bike. Doesn't matter. He's still at the tail end of the field. So here we go. Complete restart. GNC1 Semi number 1.
Johnson gets pushed wide again. The number 12 of Jay Maloney earned his national number here a year ago at the Daytona Flat Track, finds himself leading semi number 1 in the GNC1 class with former Grand National Champion number 6 of Brad Baker hot on his heels in second. Slight gap back to the 42 of Brian Smith, who moved his fellow Michigander buddy Kyle Johnson wide in turn 1 off the start. But Smith will come under pressure from the 23 of Jeffrey Carver. Very good short tracker.
And don't count out the 55, Chris. That's Jake Shoemaker. I watched him a lot last year. When it is this time of the race, he'll work up there, and he finds a way somehow to always get a transfer spot. Shoemaker's got to pick up 2 more spots. Back out front, Jay Maloney on the 12 bike. Right behind him is the 2013 champ. That is the Bullet, Brad Baker. Brian Smith still hanging on to that 3rd spot with Carver all over his back tire for the 4th position.
You can bet the 42 of Smith is going to do everything he can to pinch it tight. Moves a little wide as Carver gets up on the inside, pushes him wide off the groove.
And here comes Carver into the 3rd spot. He's
the
bringing
55 of Shoemaker comes in right behind him.
Now
Smith finds his way back, and
Carver.
Here we have the 17 of Wiles
Carver
in the
way
position.
back there. There goes
Shoemaker moving the 42 of Smith over. These guys are hungry for this last transfer spot.
I watched Shoemaker do that a lot last year, Chris. If he gets in this position, he knows, and he's not scared to go in there and throw a few elbows and make some room, and he made the pass. We'll see if Brian Smith can retaliate right here. It's still Jay Maloney out front. Whoa, in second is the 6. That's Baker right there on the rear wheel. Shoemaker still scored in the 3rd spot. 4th is the 42 of Brian Smith. It's going to get tight back there for the final transfer position. There goes the 55 of Shoemaker. Smith is right there. 17 of Wiles. See if he can make up there in a couple more spots. Battle for leads getting tight as they're starting to catch a little bit of lap traffic as the laps are winding down.
I think we have one of the riders go down as he moves off to the outside. Gives the guys a chance to continue racing unimpeded.
Watch that battle for the 3rd and final spot. There's Maloney still out front. Baker in the 2 spot.
Baker getting through the middle of the corners much better. But Maloney getting a good drive. Maloney gets in a little deeper, a little tighter, protecting the spot.
There's the battle for the 3rd and final transfer spot. Shoemaker's right there on the 55, hanging on to it. Smith is right there. Wiles on the 17 bike. White flag gets out. Battle for the lead. Both these two should make the main. Baker's trying to take that position away. Who's going to get that 3rd transfer? We're going to find out in a half a lap. Jay Maloney hanging on to that national number 12. Baker trying to look up the inside. He's got to be happy just making the main event alone with the injury. And there's your 3rd place finisher. We'll see if there's any fireworks after this one.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few of them out there have a few hurt feelings with the little banging and bumping, but that's what we expect on a blue groove like this here in Daytona.
That is short track racing. Jay Maloney, you can see the smile on his face all the way through his helmet. He takes the win. Jay Maloney on the 12 is your winner. Brad Baker takes 2nd on the number 6 bike, and Jake Shoemaker takes that 3rd and final transfer spot, number 55. So Brian Smith, Henry Wiles, Jake Mattia, Jeffrey Carver all the way back in 7th, Mikey Martin 8th, Kyle Johnson 9th, and Cale Kochman rounds out your top 10. Man, some of these fast riders are loading up at the end of the night. There's a possible chance somebody's going to come back with a provisional start card, so we could possibly have 19 riders in this main event. I believe Danny is ready with our semi-winner.
What was that like having Brad Baker all over your tail end?
You know, I heard Brad a couple bit here and there, but, you know, last year I got my national number that same exact way. Led the whole thing semi to finish, so been in a position before.
Congratulations on taking the win, and we'll see you in the main event.
Thank you. I just got to thank all my friends and family for coming down and support me. Bobby Kenny wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
All right, very excited. Jay Maloney winning his semi. He is in tonight's main event, and he will have his national number again next year. Semi number 2 is already staged up and ready to go on the pole from Washop, Australia is the 87. That's Wild Thing, Mick Kirkness. Beside him, number 71 from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, is Don Mullen. Starting 3rd, a former 2-time Daytona Flat Track winner from San Jose, California. That's Mikey Rush on the 54 bike. From Welland, Ontario, Canada, 20T, Mikey LaBelle. From Peoria, Illinois, 55P, Shane Vance. And last rider on the front row from Philpott, Kentucky on the Vans Yamaha 95 is JD Beach. He does have an onboard camera for you fans watching at fanschoice.tv. Row number 2, the 65, Corey Texter. 21, Duke Erickson. 16, Wyatt McGuire. 52, Shayna Texter. 90W, Wyatt Anderson. And last rider on row number 2 is the 90 of Joe Hartridge. Row number 3, The 46, Aaron Linfors. 42K, Clint Erickson. 93, Danny Kelch. 11C, Shane Fox. And the number 10, way back at the tail end of the field, that is JL10. Johnny Lewis, a winner here before at Daytona Flat Track, has his work cut out for him. Just like the last race, Chris, this is GNC1 semi number 2. Only the top 3 riders will make the main event. What are your thoughts going into this one?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of the same from the previous semi. This is the last chance to get to the final. None of these riders here, I believe, will have the benefit of a provisional start card. So it's top 3 are loaded up. And sitting on the pole, Mike Kirkness, coming all the way from Australia. I'm sure he's going to want to do everything he can to justify the expense of coming this far. A great personality here in Flat Track. Looking forward to seeing him move forward as well.
They call him Wild Thing, the wonder from down under. Mick Kirkness on the inside on the 87. Here we go. GNC semi number 2. Oh. Mike Rush worked his way up there, took over that second spot. JD Beach with the hole shot. He'll lead him off at turn number 4. Action got tight down there in turn number 3 as Mick Kirkness got bumped one spot. He's trying to repay the favor. Mikey Rush takes over second on the 54. Behind him is Wild Thing. Mick Kirkness on the 81. Keep your eyes on the 71. Don Mullen, a short track specialist.
Yeah, Jiggy Dog out front gets a good start. Onboard camera. We were kind of hoping for a little bit more action, but when you're out front, all you can see is the track in front of you. He seems to be doing a good job. The 54, Mikey Rush, a former winner here, doesn't seem to be making any time here early in the race, but as he establishes his rhythm, we might see a little difference.
You can hear how early he picks up the throttle on that bike just as early as he can, gets his weight on the back of the seat, and points the thing to the right direction. It looks like he's running a little bit lower line down there in 3 and 4, a little higher down here in 1 and 2. Of course, he's right on the best spot you can be, which is where all the rubber is on the track. JD Beach out front still. Mikey Rush in second, Mick Kirkness third, Don Mullen fourth, Mikey LaBelle, Shane Vance in the 6th spot. Johnny Lewis from the dead last is up to 7th, ladies and gentlemen, number 10.
Very interesting to see 2 distinct styles. We see JD come into the corner a little bit more upright, more road race-like, 2-wheeling the bike in, and the 54 following kind of flicks it a little bit more to scrub his speed. Right now, the easiest way around for JD is to kind of keep the wheels in line, but somewhere along the way you're going to have to learn how to slide it through here in order to make passes in the final. It looks good, doing what he needs to do right now to win this semi.
Back to his roots here at Daytona Flat Track. He is a full-time road racer. It's good to see him out here in the 95 JD Beach Philpott, Kentucky on the Vans Yamaha Victory Circle Graphics, the sponsors on that motorcycle as he goes into turn number 3. Still Mikey Rush in second, the 87 of Mick Kirkness in the 3rd spot, Don Mullen 4th, and Mikey LaBelle rounds out your top 5. 6 laps now in the books here in this semi number 2. Working our way down the front straightaway. Johnny Lewis still trying to come to the head of the class. He is back. Now he's dropped all the way back to 9th, so Johnny Lewis looks like his progression to the front has came up short.
Yeah, on a new bike this year, I think it was a little more difficult for him to get the KTM around the track as he had his Hondas in the past. But JD Beach out front with 2 to go. Smooth sailing at the moment. Dirt tracker, turned road racer, back to part-time dirt track. I think it's a good debut for him leading into the Moto America Series. You know, keep himself sharp, getting some green lights, getting the race guys to the checkered flag. Looking good. I first watched this kid at the age of 9, as here he is on the last lap at American Super Camp. He's doing us proud tonight.
He looks really good out there on 95, taking the win on the checkered flag. Rush gets that second transfer spot. Don Mullen comes up just a little bit short, as you can see. All the riders going across. Kevin Clark, our flagman to the stars, who's actually wearing Dave Brentlinger's shoes. So it's cool that he's doing that out there representing. So there's a good look at your winner. National number 95, JD Beach takes the win. He'll be on the podium in just a minute. Go back to second is Mikey Rush from California. He takes the 2 spot, number 54. Mick Kirkness, national number 87, will take that 3rd and final transfer. Don Mullen, Mikey LaBelle, Wyatt Anderson had a great night, started, end up with a bad night, ends up in the 6th spot. Shane Vance, Wyatt McGuire, Johnny Lewis 9th, and Corey Texter rounds out your top 10. And so that is how they finished GNC Semi number 2. So our main event fields have been set, and we're going to go to our victory podium right now with Danny has caught up to our semi winner.
I think JD Beach is feeling pretty good out here. Is it your road racing background, or is it a good start? What's the key to being out here?
Well, definitely my background's dirt track. I mean, I've been racing dirt track for 20 years. I learned from the best. Chris Carr has helped me out a lot, and you know what? Coming out here, I'm 100% focused on road racing, but when it comes to dirt track, it's hard just to sit back and ride. So after that heat race, man, I was really bummed, and I knew I just had to get a really good start, and somehow I pulled the whole shot from the outside, and it was just counting off the laps. And you know what? I mean, I just got to thank everybody who helps me. I mean, I can't spend my whole time racing dirt track, but I mean, there's so many great guys behind me helping me out, and to put it in the main in the first round of the year, I mean, I'm feeling really good.
JD Beach is going on to the main event. Stay tuned, you guys.
All right.
JD Beach
going in the main event, and he doesn't run a lot of flat tracks, Chris. He actually said thanks to you right there on the podium. You've helped him out for a long time. Like you said, you saw him when he was 9 years old at the American Super Camp. He's a super fast rider, super talented. He just proved that he can ride dirt just as well as he can ride on the pavement.